Yeah, we've heard from numerous Trump voters over the course of the day, and frankly, they don't care about those court cases. If anything, they say that they're kangaroo court cases that have been held against him. One man that I spoke to even said that he was willing to put up his house for Donald Trump should he need more money for his legal fees. Now, he was somebody who said that he was squeezed quite a lot, but that if Trump needed his money to mount his defense, then he would do that. So once again, Donald Trump proving he has a very die-hard grip on the Republican Party here. Donald Trump's victory here hovering around 20 points above Nikki Haley, and that will be obviously something Nikki Haley took some kind of solace in. The people who were at her rally there seemed somewhat elated that she got over the 40% or thereabouts hurdle. The 20% difference is slightly less than the 30% behind Donald Trump that we thought she was going to be in the polls. So more of a New Hampshire following than an Iowa showing for her, but that gap could widen slightly as the rest of the vote trickles in over the course of the next few hours. Donald Trump was very resounding in his victory as soon as that race was called at 7 p.m. local time when the poll shut. Donald Trump got straight on that stage 4 minutes afterwards, likely because he didn't want a repeat of New Hampshire where Nikki Haley jumped the gun and managed to give her speech before him. If you cast your minds back to that at the end of January, Donald Trump was very, very annoyed by the fact that Nikki Haley had done that. He spent the first part of his speech there tearing her apart verbally, by also about the way she looked as well. A very different speech on Saturday night. He didn't mention Nikki Haley's name once in the entire 30 minutes that he was on stage. So a big difference there between him and Nikki Haley. She said that she is going to stay in the race. It was a bit of a tense speech at some points. People were waiting to see whether she was going to be true to her word and carry on to Super Tuesday, which she has said that she would. And about halfway through the speech, she said, I said so far in this campaign that I'm going to stick here through Super Tuesday. And she said, quote, I am a woman of my word. So a big difference between the two speeches here tonight. But when you are on the ground here talking to the voters, not really a surprising result at all.
Now, Haley, she's due to get straight back on the campaign trail on Sunday in Michigan. You say there is some solace for her following this latest vote, but why exactly, people are asking, is she staying in the race? What exactly is her strategy, Fraser?
Well, money is everything in American politics, and you don't get out of the race when you lose. You get out when the money dries up. And frankly, Nikki Haley still has a bucket load of cash to burn. January was her biggest fundraising month so far. Over $16.5 million went into her coffers and her super PAC's coffers over the course of that month. And then just a few weeks ago, when Donald Trump attacked her serviceman husband for being deployed overseas, that was another big fundraising day. $5 million in the 24 hours immediately after that happened. So basically, Nikki Haley has cash to burn at this point, and she's putting that cash to good use. We know that she's spending millions in the next few days on TV ads in the upcoming states, including Michigan, which is where she's going to be heading to next. And it's somewhere that hasn't really had much battling going on over it. The candidates so far have been very focused on the first few stops on this race, notably Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina. So Nikki Haley now is putting all of her eggs in that Super Tuesday basket. But to be honest, the thin road that we thought she had now appears pretty much non-existent. The fact of the matter is Nikki Haley has backers who want her to be there as some kind of alternative to Donald Trump, maybe for the more moderate people within the Republican Party who are turned off by some of Trump's rhetoric and some of his policies. And she does have some very powerful, influential backers, especially in the business world. And as long as they are going to keep pushing cash into her campaign, she's likely to stay in this race. But at the end of the day, it's about winning states. And I think what will happen is once we get to Super Tuesday, Nikki Haley might start reevaluating what the future looks like for her then. The second and the third states in these first few flurries were definitely the most lenient towards her, New Hampshire and South Carolina. We get into a part of the race now where it's winner takes all, and she's not going to get any delegates if she comes in second place. So it could be a bit of a change in tack come March 6th, the day after Super Tuesday here for Nikki Haley's campaign.
Finally, Fraser, how's all of this being viewed by Democrats?
Well, you could argue that there were a few Democrats who were voting for Nikki Haley. There's been a couple of precisions in the rules, especially in New Hampshire and here in South Carolina, where you can change your party affiliation, or people unaffiliated in some places could vote for Nikki Haley. So there was some worry from some Republicans that Nikki Haley's numbers were being artificially inflated in that sense. So Nikki Haley is definitely the more digestible candidate for anybody who is more moderate / leaning left. But I will also say as well, she's the Democrats' biggest nightmare. She has said many times over and over that this is not about the primary, it's about November and who can beat Joe Biden. She says that Trump does not beat Joe Biden or is within that statistical margin of error in most polls, and she is the one that actually gets the job done. There has been a reaction from Joe Biden himself in a statement from his campaign. He said, "Every day we are reminded of the threat Donald Trump poses to our future as Americans. Grapple with the damage he left behind." He also evoked other key topics such as the economy and, of course, abortion. That has been a real touchstone issue here in the United States. So Joe Biden acting as though Donald Trump is the presumptive nominee, as is the rest of the United States. Everybody, it seems, bar Nikki Haley.
Fraser, for now, thank you. That is our correspondent in Columbia, Fraser Jackson, joining us as Donald Trump wins the South Carolina Republican primary.